Today I'm going to be showing you guys some of my all-time favorite spots to explore on the northern Oregon coast. My base camp for this trip is the Thousand Trails in Seaside, Oregon, which is so close to all the spots I'm about to visit. And I'm starting off the trip by taking a short drive north to Astoria, Oregon. And then my first stop there is going to be Fort George Brewery for delicious beer and pizza. This place sits right in the heart of downtown and has a really nice rooftop with great views of the city. And a short walk down the street from the brewery, you'll find the Oregon Film Museum. This location was made famous in the movie The Goonies. The opening scene in the movie The Goonies was filmed here, and they do have a few props from the movie itself. But I'll get into that in just a second. Okay, so I just got finished in the Oregon Film Museum. I would say for $6 a person, it's probably not worth going into. You don't really get to go to much of it. You kind of just go into like one little area and that's it. And it probably takes like 1 minute of your time, honestly, to explore the whole thing. If you have kids, you can like reenact like movie sets and stuff, which is kind of cool, but that's not really my vibe, so I didn't do that. So maybe if I did that, it'd be worth the $6, but I would say if you just want to see like the set from the movie, just go around to the free spots in Astoria. On the note of free spots, let's go check out one of the more famous free spots just a short drive from the film museum. All right, so now we're going to see the Goonies house. We're going to be respectful about it because someone actually lives there and we're not going to be all creepy about it. So we parked kind of far away from it and we are currently walking there. Like I said earlier, this place is someone's actual residential home, so please be mindful of that and be respectful when you visit. So we were actually driving back to head to the RV park, but we realized we were passing by Fort Clatsop, which I believe is where Lewis and Clark wintered out here. I'll let you know more when I get in there. I've been here before, but it's been like years, so we're gonna go explore it again. So yes, Fort Clatsop was the winter encampment for the Lewis and Clark expedition. All right, so we're in Fort Clatsop. It's free if you have your National Park Pass, so that's just another incentive to get the National Park Pass. The expedition stayed in this encampment from December 1805 to March 1806. When you visit the park, you'll find a replica fort built on the site of the original encampment that shows what life would have looked like when Lewis and Clark wintered there. And I would definitely say this spot is worth a visit if you're interested in this sort of history. All right, it's a new day, and today I'm gonna head out to Ecola State Park near Cannon Beach. I haven't been here in years, and it's honestly one of my favorite places in all of Oregon. This park, just like Astoria, sits about a half an hour from Seaside, so it honestly makes the perfect day trip when you're visiting the area. This is a state park, so there is a fee to enter, so just be prepared for that. All right, so right now we're doing the Clatsop Loop Trail out to like the lighthouse overlook. And then we might continue along the Oregon Coast Trail for a little while. We don't really have a plan today, other than just kind of like hiking around the park. And there's a lot of people on the beach, but like no one's on the hiking trails right now. So it's super nice. The Clatsop Loop Trail starts at Indian Beach and it's 2.9 miles round trip with 784 feet of elevation gain. So this trail is definitely pretty overgrown. If you do it, I'd probably wear long pants or else your legs are gonna get pretty scratched up. When you do get near the lighthouse, be on the lookout on the side of the trail for this old bunker looking area that's right off to the side. So something this state park is known for is that a lot of movies have been filmed here. Two of my favorites, and like the most well-known, are The Goonies and then the first Twilight. So I'll show you some of the places where those were filmed. The trailhead at Indian Beach actually has a map of the notable film locations that you can follow. Indian Beach, in my eyes, is most notably known as La Push Baby from the first Twilight. It's also the beach at the end of Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. The most famous film location from this park, though, is definitely the Goonies Overlook. This film location is on the other side of the park, though, so you will have to drive there or hike in. Once I got back to Seaside, I decided to stop at Zinger's Homemade Ice Cream for a sweet little treat. Okay, so I went to Zinger's Homemade Ice Cream. I got the coconut flavor, and it tastes exactly like sunscreen, but that's a good thing to me. And then Garrett got banana cream, which is also really good. I tried to tuck away and eat my ice cream, but there's a man blowing bubbles, like gigantic bubbles, and he's like really drawing a crowd here. So it's like an incredibly rainy day on the coast today, and I decided I'm gonna take a day trip out to Astoria. It's only like a half an hour from Seaside, so that's where I'm heading right now. The first stop of the day on this second day trip to Astoria was Pier 39. I actually found a free museum here, so that's why I decided to stop here. All right, so right now we are in Astoria. We're starting at Pier 39. There's a cannery museum here and it's free, so we're starting there. But this whole place is like huge. There's like a wine bar in here, there's a brewery. So we're gonna go check it all out. So this museum was actually pretty cool. It was basically a museum dedicated to the fish canning industry in the area, and it was full of a bunch of old, cool canning equipment. I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely not one of the people that reads everything in a museum, but the equipment itself was honestly super cool and worth seeing, and the museum itself was in a cool old building on the pier, and if you know me, you know I love cool old architecture. So this museum is free, but it is donation based, so you should definitely give a little donation if you do visit. So we drove across that like pier thing and parked there, but there was very few parking spots, and we got one of the last ones. And when we were coming out, it was getting super busy, and it's like one-way traffic across the bridge, so it's kind of chaotic. So I definitely recommend if you do go and you're able to, I would just walk across the bridge instead of driving across it. And if you do decide to visit the museum, make sure you walk around the rest of the pier too, because honestly, the whole thing was pretty cool to see. Alright, so I'm walking around the city, so it's like tremendously loud, but we are going to Astoria Brewing Company to get a beer now, because we just went to the museum, and now we're going to kind of just like walk around town a little bit. I got one of their IPAs, and it was really cold and really delicious. So Dwight recently started going outside like within the last like year, and he's never been to the beach, so it finally stopped raining here, and we are going to take him to the beach for the first time ever. At this moment though, he was definitely super confused as to where we were going. Normally when I drive with Dwight, I put him in that crate that's right back there, but this drive is like a half mile, so he's going to sit on my lap for this, and we're just going to go really slow, and there's no like busy roads or anything to go on. So he's being a really good boy, and he's going to get to see the beach for the first time. When we got to the beach though, he seemed like he was half enjoying it and half overstimulated by it. So I think he'll be sticking to his favorite forested hikes instead. After taking Dwight to the beach, I stopped at Seaside Brewery for a quick lunch. I got their pale ale, clam chowder, and a grilled cheese, and they were all really good. This place also has a really nice patio if that's something you're into. So I wanted to get out for at least one sunset while I was on the Oregon coast, and it's been mostly like cloudy or misty or rainy like every day I've been here. But it is finally sunny, so I'm out on the coast, but it is literally so cold, and the wind's picked up by like 20 miles an hour. So it's not great, but I'm hoping the sunset's good. Also, you probably can't hear me from the wind, but my wine has like 50 grains of sand in it, and it's almost like sandpaper wine. But I am not going to waste it because I spent like $7 on this bottle, which is very fancy to me. This was actually my last night on the Oregon coast, and it was time to head inland. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video. And if you like this video, I would appreciate a like on it, and if you'd subscribe to my channel. As a new YouTuber, honestly, every little bit helps.